Hey guys, welcome to the podcast. This is Ryan Lai from Blind Eye Studio, and joining me is...
Matthew Kamor. How are you guys?
Yes, we have the famous Matthew Kamor from our Blind Eye News, so give him a round of applause, everybody.
Woo!
Round of tiny applause.
I work incredibly hard for those news, guys. I hope you guys are checking it out. I hope you guys are enjoying it. Just be sure to, leave your opinions in the comment section below, whether you like me or not. But we're moving on with the podcast. Mm-hmm. It is just going to be Ryan and myself today. People had to have, unfortunately, other commitments, so we're going to have a one-on-one with each other. How about that? But we're going to be picking from a group of unknown topics to, talk about. We don't know what they are.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you know what you put in. I know what I put in. But Ryan is going ahead and pick one out of the randomness. So whenever you're ready, Ryan.
We could even pick a couple if we just answer one
quickly.
That's true. Yeah. I mean, we might as well get it over with, right?
Sure, go ahead and pick one.
I'm just going to blinds pick it here. Okay. All right, what do we have here? Ooh, this looks like a Josh one.
Oh, no!
Rule 34.
No, I know what it is.
Rule 34. If you were to be captured and force raped and lived by the end, which would you rather be captured by? Predator or alien?
Yep. I know exactly where this question was. Him and I were talking about... Yeah, I can see your facial expression.
What the fuck? What the fuck? I'm sorry, go on.
No, I just find your reaction funny because, considering what we talked about last week with changing to female. That this is probably just one bad topic after another bad topic for you.
Basically, if you were butt raped by Predator or alien, which would you rather be butt raped by?
Pretty much. We were talking about this a couple days ago when he first came up with the concept of drawing out of the hat, coming up with the random topics. It's basically, would you rather have someone meticulously break you down in the sense that he's going to make it a sport, or have someone who's basically going to be going off their own instincts and, just go into town without any, care of your well-being.
Wow, it's like choosing a math teacher and a guy you met at a shitty bar. It's like both are bad.
That's a really interesting analogy. How'd you come up with that?
I just came with that right now.
That's funny. Oh my gosh. For me, I think I'd probably pick Predator just because, yeah, he would make it more of a sport. But the trick is, you live at the end, which means you either end up a project for the Predator to play with, or you become a carrier for the next wave of alien. So it's lose-lose either way.
Yeah, I mean, I guess with the Predator, you get a little bit of romance before it happens, and the alien is just pretty much directly straight to it. So I guess I would have to go with the alien.
The alien?
Yeah.
Let me hear a little bit more about your thought process behind that.
Well, I mean, if it's like the Predator, I feel like it's gonna take forever, and I just want to get it over with, like bang, like right there.
Okay.
And although you would not be like getting it over with, considering you'd have a baby inside you that'd be bursting from your chest. So, I mean, God, they're both awful.
I know.
They're both awful.
Because this is... Okay, well, the Predator, as his name suggests, he preys on sport. So he's going to make a sport out of it. He's going to, break you down. He may, take out your spine or something. He may even, as he's raping you, take a cadaver or something and, take a sample of your skin. I don't know. You can imagine...
Sample of your skin?
I don't know. He has a bunch of toys. He has lasers. He has that invisibility, so you don't know when he's coming. He could be behind you right now and insert up your bum, and you wouldn't even know it until it's too late. And he has those retractable Wolverine claws as a weapon. He even has that bomb on his arm as a last resort. So he's going to have fun with his toys.
Okay, I see where you're coming from here. You get the toy play, but you also get the element of surprise.
Yeah, well, you might even get the S&M kind of thing, because his stuff might be into the more dark. I feel with Alien, the most surprise you're going to get is that little mouth inside his mouth. Mm-hmm. So he opens his mouth and you just snap.
Yeah. That's not a good. That's not a good thing for your dick. That's for sure. Oh, Jesus. I mean,
Oh my god.
oh God. I mean, how the fuck did he come up with this? Like, seriously, what?
But that's like asking me, how did I come up with the changing the female for last week?
Yeah, I mean, Jesus Christ, dude.
Nothing is safe on the internet, man. Nothing is safe.
Well, I feel like we've answered that question pretty quickly. Like,
Yeah.
you would choose Predator, I would choose Alien for different reasons.
Sure. If you want to move on, we can move on. Find
Yeah.
something you're a little bit more comfortable with.
Yeah, I mean, it's not that I'm uncomfortable with it. I just think if it's Predator, it's gonna be like really dry sex versus
Ooh.
like an Alien, which is really slimy sex. But
Not only
so-
slimy, but it's isn't its spit supposed to be acidic?
Yeah,
So that would hurt. Oh, and if you're a masochist, you might find enjoyment in that, because he can be like slowly like drooling, and it just hits your chest as you're like tied to a chair.
Oh, I think
or
it's actually the
something.
blood. I think it's the
Oh,
blood.
right.
Yeah.
Okay,
it's
so
the blood.
Its blood is corrosive. That's what it is. So maybe you might be able to get off of that. Like you could just you know how people with the candle wax and they like to drip it on their chest. Maybe they'd like to do that with the blood of the alien, and it's just you just feel it on your arm or on your chest, and you're like, oh, this feels so good. There's a hole in my chest. Oh, do it some more.
That burns through starships, man. I mean, I don't think there's gonna be any pleasure involved in that.
Probably not. But hey, you never know. There's stranger things out there in terms of fetish.
Okay, well, we got that one answered. Let's
right.
move on to another one.
All right, here.
Hopefully.
I'll do it this time. How about
Okay.
that? Give you a break.
Okay.
Let's do this one. This one's attached
I hope
to
it's
another
not
one.
a boring one, because some of mine are boring ones.
Okay, let me see here. What? Oh, this one's yours. What is the? I can't quite read your writing.
What does it say? Oh, what is the fondest game that you remember?
Oh, okay.
What's
So
the fondest game you remember?
So the video game that you have most I can't quite. You're just most fond.
yeah, that you're most fond of it
Okay.
when you were a kid. Finally, a normal question, huh?
of. Indeed. You can. This is your question. Go ahead and take the first round. I took.
Sure.
I took first snap at the Alien and Predator question.
Well, when I really got into games, I started off with one of the most brutally difficult games you could ever play on the Game Boy Advance.
Game Boy Advance.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was...
What was that?
It was Mega Man Zero.
Mega Man. Oh wow, really?
It was Mega Man Zero, and I played the Japanese version too.
So you played both.
Yeah.
Which well, I don't know if this is a stupid question or not,
Oh.
but which one did you find more difficult, the Japanese version or the English version?
They both honestly had the same difficulty. The only difference with the Japanese version was that there was lots of blood.
Lots of blood.
Yeah.
So obviously you run into the American censorship when it gets imported into the States.
Yeah, they like kind of cut it a little bit, but there's like a trickle of blood that came out.
Of course,
but
you can't get everything.
yeah, but I mean, ultimately, it was still really violent. You know?
Was there difference in story or otherwise where am I going with like if you have to do side quests and whatnot,
Yeah.
was there any difference in overall story?
You know what? The dialogue was mostly the same, but the Japanese version, especially by Mega Man 04, they got something special in that game, basically.
Okay.
They got, like, drama dialogue. So, basically, I'm not sure if their game actually featured Japanese voiceover, but they actually had the Japanese actors and, like, some of the
that's
singers,
nice.
and they actually acted out the scenes.
Oh, that's nice.
And it was really cool. I was
That
like,
is cool.
damn, we should have got that, man!
Well, I never played any of the Mega Man
Yeah.
games, though I like the lore behind Mega Man. But I don't know. I just never got around to playing those games.
They're tough. They're butt up.
Aren't they
stick up your
more-
butt hard.
Aren't they kind of like aren't they strategy-based games for the most part?
It's
I know the earlier games were side scroller.
yeah. I mean, you have the ability to strategize, but it's so fast. So you have to strategize literally after you're dead.
So it takes a couple tries, is
Yeah.
what you're saying. Okay. I'm gonna say there's two games that I would associate myself with. The first one was my very first game that I played was the Pokemon Yellow version on the Game Boy Color. I didn't know how to play it. I was maybe it came out 97?
Somewhere around there, yeah.
So at this time I'm maybe 4 or 5. I don't know how to play the game. I'm just playing the game. I have a Pikachu. I'm Ash. Oh my god, this is amazing.
Dude, no one knew how to play those games.
No one had to play the game. It wasn't until later on that you like, oh wow, that was so stupid. How did I not realize I could have played that game so much better? Anyway, only because I didn't know how to play the game. I didn't play the game very often, so it sort of just fell off the face of the earth until I started playing Pokemon Diamond. That was the game. That was the series that brought me back into the franchise of Pokemon.
Right.
I didn't play Crystal or Gold. Gold. I didn't play Gold or Silver.
Silver. Yeah.
I didn't play Ruby or Sapphire.
Oh, Gold and Silver.
I skipped straight from first generation to fourth generation, and that's when I finally got back into the Pokemon scene. But I think that the game that I identify with most is Beautiful Joe on the GameCube.
Beautiful Joe.
Yeah, that was when I first saw that game. When I first got it as a gift, I do not remember if it was a birthday, Easter, or Christmas gift. I remember getting it and immediately loving it for the not so much for gameplay, but for story. Really? I loved the story, and there was a certain point. Kind of confession. I still haven't beaten the game, but that's partially due to the learning curve in the game, and due to the amount of time that I have to play games. I don't play games very often, so usually if I do have a game, I'll play it. I sort of let it go, and I go on doing other things, and I come back to it.
Well, you have played obviously a lot of games.
I have played quite a bit of games, not as much as say Zane when it comes to FPS games.
Oh, sure.
But I have played a couple, several games. Beautiful Joe, if you don't already know, is a person who has his girlfriend stolen into the world of movies, and therefore has to get himself into the world of movies to go and get her back. So he's sucked into the literal screen. So when I was watching this happen in the opening prologue scene, you're watching it as if it's an old-time crank film. So it's So you see you see it as if it's moving on screen. So you feel like you're watching the movie as you're playing the video game, and he's going through as if each chapter in the game is like a different movie. Each chapter was supposed to parody a different movie.
Oh.
So what is it? One of the chapters was titled Friendly Neighborhood Beautiful Joe. Because his arch rival, arguably in the game, called Alistair, he opens up the boss fight saying, well, if it isn't my friendly neighborhood arch rival. And it's like, okay, so they're mocking Spider-Man.
Right.
In another chapter, it's called 10 Million Leagues Under the Sea, parodying 10,000 Leagues Under the Sea, where you fight Grand Bruce, who is a shark. So every chapter was a different movie.
That's crazy.
I loved the lore and all of the mechanics in the game. Again, I haven't beaten the game, but I love all the characters, and I am so in deep in the lore of all the games of Beautiful Joe that I wouldn't say I'm an expert, but I'm definitely a hardcore fan.
Man, you should beat it.
I know I should
totally beat it.
I'm at the level, and it's kind of sad to say Beautiful Joe 1 and the sequel to Beautiful Joe 2, they're kind of mirror image of each other because the gameplay, the arc is... I'm sorry, let me...
No, it's okay.
Oh, we have 2 more minutes. We can have our final thoughts.
Okay.
Both of them are very similar in the arc of the story, where you have chapter 1, 2, and 3 having individual boss fights at the end of each chapter, and then chapter 4 or 5 will be a boss rush where you have to fight copies or clones of those bosses.
Oh, it's very Mega Man-ish then.
It's very Mega Man-ish.
Oh, okay.
So you'll have the first boss, and then you beat him, you go to the next stage, and it's the second boss.
Was it made by Capcom?
It is made by
Capcom. I thought so. That's why.
Beautiful Joe is Capcom. And that's why Beautiful Joe was in the most recent Marvel vs. Capcom for the PS3. So that was cool.
I remember that, yeah.
And Mega Man Zero was in the same Marvel vs. Capcom game. So they had both of those.
Oh, man. Oh, dude. Maybe we have time for another topic.
Maybe.
Like a quickie. We can do a quickie. You
Go
guys
for
want
it.
to hear a quickie? Let's do a quickie. Okay. Picking random. Okay. All right, guys. It's very exciting.
Last one.
Oh, my favorite question.
Oh, it's another one of your questions?
Oh, this is a good one.
Okay, let's hear it, Ryan.
How do you like to poop? It's a very serious question. Stop laughing. I am honestly curious.
Okay, how do I poop? I go to my bathroom, I take a seat in the toilet, and this may be getting a little graphic. I like to get comfortable, and I want to make sure that I minimize the amount of wiping I need to do.
Mm-hmm.
So I get a little bit I make sure my cheeks get a little bit of a separation going on.
Right.
And then I just sort of, I don't lean back on the chair. I sort of sit forward and I put my elbows on my knees and I just sort of rest my head on my hands and I just go.
Really?
Mm-hmm. I relax my body.
That's crazy.
I relax my body and I let it go. And if I know I'm going to be there for quite a while, depending on how constipated or otherwise, unless it's diarrhea, depending on how bad it is, I bring my phone in the bathroom and I will scroll on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. I'll watch a YouTube video even to let the time pass so that I can actually let it go naturally. And then once I feel I'm done, I wipe, couple of times. I flush, do a courtesy flush depending on how much solid is in the toilet, and I go to the sink, wash my hands, and I'm done.
That's a first. I have never heard someone say they do the thinking posture while they're pooping. That is really weird and awesome at the same time.
I can't believe this is a question. All right. How do you go about it?
Oh, I'm glad you asked. Well, first off, I'm naked.
Oh my gosh.
First off, I'm naked. It just makes it easier.
Oh, okay.
It makes it way easier, honestly. Don't ask me why.
I'm not going to. I just
don't judge me.
I got a nasty image.
So I'm naked.
Okay.
Not just that. I like to have a heater in front of me because it speeds up. When you're naked, you don't have anything restricting you forcing the poop through your anus.
Oh my god.
So it's that, and having the heat against you also helps out.
Really?
Yeah.
How does that, can you maybe explain why heat helps?
It speeds up your metabolism naturally. That's why. Yeah.
So by heating your body core temperature, allows for your colon to let loose the...
Yeah, it speeds up everything, basically.
Interesting.
That's why people in hotter climates tend to be thinner. Because usually when there's a lot of intense heat, their body's moving faster, basically. The insides of the body's moving faster.
You're almost constantly in a sweat when you're in a hotter
it's
environment.
blood flow, basically.
Right.
Lots of blood flow.
Okay, in that instance, that makes sense. Okay.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Continue. So I do that, but it's not just that, because I also lean forward, but I'm doing stuff like...
Oh, so you're doing the grunts to make sure it goes through. Okay. Wow.
So I'm naked, I have a heater in front of me, and I'm grunting.
Wow.
And I'm sweating usually, too.
It's because you have the heater.
Well, I mean, it's strenuous, too. It's also strenuous. And maybe I'll have PewDiePie going on in the background.
PewDiePie?
Yeah.
Oh my god. Hello guys, I'm PewDiePie.
Yeah, and that relaxes me.
Wow. PewDiePie relaxes you?
Yeah.
I'm concerned for you, Ryan. I really am. I only grunt if I feel like I'm really struggling. And that's very, very few times. And I feel like this took a really weird turn. It started with being butt raped to actually using your butt. So I think that's a really good place to start. Oh my gosh. Okay, Ryan, that was actually a very enjoyable podcast. Do you have any final thoughts for our listeners? Make sure you have healthy poops. Make sure you
tell us how you poop in the comments section below.
Yes, because we're genuinely concerned about your poop health. If you don't use a heater, then something is
wrong with you then.
Let us know if you would pick either Alien or Predator to be your unlawfully S&M, beater or something. I don't know the direct term. Who do you want to be dominated by, Alien or Predator? Let us know in the comments section. And which video game do you best associate yourself with?
Mm-hmm.
With that being said, I am Matthew Kamor. again joined by
Ryan Lai.
And hope you guys come back next week for a whole nother interesting collaboration of topics for the podcast. See you next week.
See ya. Man, I'm going to take a massive dump.
Oh my God, Ryan. Just... that was...